The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guest, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Broadcasting to you on WNN 1470 AM and TrentoVision.tv from the world's leading think tank laboratory, buried deep in an undisclosed building in hostile territory where evil and corruption is exposed. You're about to enter the Tom Trento Show.
Hello, everybody. There you are.
Oh, there you are.
Hello, everybody. Tom Trento here on well, if you're in South Florida, a little rainy today, 50% chance of rain. So you, at a couple of minutes after 5 o'clock on Wednesday, June 12th, we're into summer vacation. Watch the little kiddies walking around. 87 degrees, our high today, and a very chilly 75 this evening. What a beautiful time to be in Florida. Any of you have ever lived in big cities and you've always complained about the heat in Florida? Go to Chicago in the middle of the summer. You know, walk down Michigan Avenue or Chicago Avenue. You're sweating. It's humid. It's stinky. But you know what? We have alligators here in Florida, so don't visit us. You
can get shot.
And you can
Don't
get
come
shot.
to Florida
Yeah, exactly.
and get et by an
don't come
alligator.
here. Oh, come here to spend your money so we don't have a state income tax. But then go back to where you came from, okay? Particularly if you're from country that's sending us jihadis. What is that all about? We have an administration that is psychotic. It's gathering metadata, we're going to talk about that in a minute, on its citizens, yet the people that they're trying to catch, hands off. We can't profile those people. We can't examine those people. In fact, those people, Muslim jihadis, happen to be running the White House, running the administration.
And when we catch them, we have to put them back and pretend that we don't know what they're up to.
It's just so funny. I love it.
It is very interesting, to say the least.
Upside down.
Almost as interesting as this thing that fell apart, but no big deal. We can soldier through get it done. Hi, everybody. About what time is it?
The time is 5:04.
Okay, 5:04 in the afternoon on Wednesday, June 12th.
Any
Tom
other
Trento.
Takers on the time?
Tom, what's that?
I said any other takers on the time?
You're a cool jazz.
No.
105.
Couple of minutes, 4 minutes after 5 o'clock on June 12th. Hi, everybody. Tom Trento here, welcoming you once again to our show. CJ, to your, screen left? Yeah, screen left.
Screen left, yeah.
Screen left,
there
screen
you go.
right.
Yeah.
No, screen right. When
Screen
you're
right.
watching her, she's on the right-hand side. When we're watching a monitor,
Because I'm
everything's
always
reversed.
You're
Keep
always
on
right.
her for a second.
She's always
okay?
right on
Keep
the right.
on me for
Yeah.
a second so Tom can
Gidget
adjust
cam.
his masterful new piece of technology
technology, that's
protruding from his ear. And also, I will tell you that you are listening to us on 1470 AM WNN. You can also listen to us on iHeartRadio, a free downloadable app. Watch us on TrentoVision.tv.
That's right.
You can follow
and we
us
are
on Twitter.
archived on YouTube.com/The United West. I know you love the show and you'd love to help us out. You can donate securely at TrentoVision.tv.
And tweet the
And
United
please
West.
Do that
and
now.
tweet the United
and
West.
tweet us at the United West.
And
Yes.
And somebody will tell us what you tweeted.
you know
And
what's
what are
really
we
cool about
talking
it
about
is that we
today?
go,
Yeah.
and what's kind of neat about what we're doing here is we have all the archives for all our past shows, and we have, you can subscribe to theunitedwest.org and on the youtube.com/United West, so you can pick up all the archives. You can subscribe, and we'll send them straight to you. And we don't even have to capture your data like the government does. We just,
Right.
We just send it right to you. We trust that you have the information that you want. You don't want us to collect your information.
I mean, we are going to Israel soon, so here's a clip with Tom.
Oh, okay.
It's low. Hello, this is Frank Gaffney, and
This is Frank
hey, I'm
Gaffney
here with Frank
pretending he
Gaffney,
doesn't like
and
Tom.
I understand you're going to Israel in September.
Yeah.
Are you real? Can I come?
Yeah.
All right. All right. We're gonna go. Tell them about it.
How could
We're
I
going
say
together.
no? This is going to be a trip of a lifetime. We're going to take
really
a
is.
small group of people, I think, probably, but hopefully very high quality. We certainly have very high quality talent. Bill Federer, one of the country's preeminent historians of Middle East and Islam, and for that matter, just about everything else. Bill Murray, one of the great leaders of the fight to protect Christians and Jews against the threat posed to both of them and, frankly, the rest of the world by Sharia and its adherents. And myself, of course, along with Tom. And I don't know what he's coming along for other than a lot of
I'm
fun.
hanging out, man. It's gonna be
He'll
great.
be the comic entertainment.
But we want you all there with us,
We'd
right?
love to have you.
All
Please
right.
come.
September, October. We'll see you there. Take it easy, man. Good seeing you. Absolutely.
All
Yeah, Frank
all
Gaffney.
all right,
That
all
was
right.
Mr. Gaffney at the Awakening, which was held in Orlando just a couple of months ago. We taped a little piece there. As you know, Frank runs Center for Security Policy, a shop in D.C. that does national security, international security policy work, and they get into activism. Whereas we, the United West, theunitedwest.org, we're an educational activism organization, and our goals are to defend the U.S. Constitution, to stand with Israel in these very difficult days, to defeat Islam, the system of Islam. We make a distinction between a diabolical system that is destructive to individuals, and then when they gather in a small group, a family or a tribe, or many of them in some cohesive national manner, a country, we stand against that ideology. We do not want the Islamization of America to occur. We want the assimilation of Muslims into the woof and warp of this country. It's the way it's supposed to be. It's the way it will be if we have our way, we being most of America. But we're fighting an administration that is Muslim jihadi culturally all the way.
Yeah.
It's completely out
We
of
don't
control.
want Sharia, and we want American laws for American courts.
Exactly.
So you can be Muslim or Islamic or whatever else it is that you want. Just keep your Sharia out of my nose and out of my business.
And this administration, the Obama administration, on this third day, third part of 5 parts of Israel in the Line of Fire. That's the name of this special series all week. And one of the priorities that we have as an organization, the United West and TrentoVision, is to provide information to all of you viewers watching on TrentoVision.tv and all the listeners listening on WNN 1470, listening on iHeartRadio, listening or watching on Tea Party Community. Big round of applause for our friends at Tea Party Community.
Oh, I left that out. Sorry.
Tim Saletti. No.
Doing some
We're getting
fantastic
too
work.
big. We're in too many places.
We're all over the place.
We're all over the place.
You can't escape us.
And our new Tea Party star, Imam Abdullah.
Is he here with us? That little
I am
rat
here.
guy?
I am here.
Is he a tid? Is he a tid?
No.
I'm getting a little
he's not
bit of
total Islamic
reverb.
dirtbag.
You know,
We like
little delay.
we like Imam Abdullah. You know,
Is
and
that
the
a
Tea Party.
tid?
What
and-
is this tin you speak of?
We have a special category for
Special
some
alerts.
of our Muslim jihadi friends. Now we have Muslims who are not jihadis. They haven't been jihadized yet. They're trying to assimilate into the American culture.
Oh, so not real Muslims.
Apostates, you
Well,
mean?
we don't. If you understand Islamic doctrine as we do, they're not really Muslims because they're denying the essential core elements of their faith. But that's good for America
It is
because
good for American, but if you do not believe in jihad, you are really not Muslim, are you?
well, they would say that it's a jihad of an inner struggle. For instance, Tom Trento has a few extra pounds that he's carrying around these days.
2 or 3, yes?
If I were If I were to convert, or is it revert to Islam?
Yeah, I was going to
Revert.
say,
Revert.
according to Islam.
If I were to revert to Islam, and I told my handler, I mean my imam, that I need to lose this weight, him being a peaceful imam, he would say, "You need to do jihad."
Your inner jihad.
My inner.
Inner
And I go, "You want me
jihad.
to blow something up?" And he says, "No,
it's
no,
your
no."
That would be
personal
yesterday's
struggle.
story. That was inner
It's
jihad,
your
no?
personal struggle.
No, you.
Or Monday's story. Monday's story was the inner jihad.
The ass bomb. Yeah.
Oh, yes, that was the inner jihad.
Truly the inner
That was
jihad.
Monday. Tuesday
Yeah.
was the Istanbul.
But isn't it true
jihad.
that according to Islam, we all are Muslims?
Yes.
And we just need to, and those of us who are currently kafirs,
Not
or
digging it like a
kafirs,
Jewish person or a
yeah,
Christian?
Yeah,
Yeah.
infidels, that we just need to revert.
Yes.
And if you put enough pressure on us or you kill enough of us,
We'll do
then
it.
we will.
Okay, right.
Yeah, possible.
Yes.
You never know.
Is that true?
In any event, we have a category for those types
Yes,
of...
back to this TID. What is
we have
this
a
TID?
category that we here on the United West we've established for those Muslims who are jihad focused and anti-American, anti-Jewish, anti-common sense. We call them TIDs, and we give them awards, the TID Award.
And this means?
It's an acronym. Do you know what an acronym is?
Oh, well,
you
you take the first letter from
T,
each
total.
word. Okay.
Total,
Yes.
Islamic.
Yes.
So total Islamic.
Oh, and
Dirtbag.
Dirtbag.
Wait a second.
Dirtbag. Total
Dirtbag.
Islamic dirtbag.
You,
Okay.
you and your Frank Gaffney,
Dirtbag.
world-renowned Islamophobe.
Yes,
Yes, we'll agree with that.
No, Islamic dirtbagophobes. We're dirtbagophobes.
Right.
Muslims could
like
be
a Hoover.
a
No,
Muslim
he didn't say Muslimophobes.
Oh,
He
that's
said
right.
Islamophobes.
Islamophobes.
Well, as
Oh,
the intern,
that's okay.
Yeah.
as the intern, I'd like to stay
I
partial and
concur.
in the middle. So
Yes.
I'll be half a dirtbag,
Okay, half a bag. He's gonna
half a
have
bag.
But it's an appellation. It's a title. It's a term that we award to certain
It's a
people.
term of endearment.
And I don't think Abdullah is quite in the dirtbag category
No.
yet.
Please
No.
do remember my
Not
double.
totally.
No, not totally.
Do remember
No.
my double secret probation.
Not totally a dirtbag. But
The Tea Party does love you.
Although he does
though.
smell like a goat.
but let me bring the folks in on a little
Which
secret.
we read.
That is
on
blasphemous.
Yeah, there
Blasphemer.
we go. Yeah, that's the only reason
Blasphemer.
why I said it.
I'm gonna-
We
I'm gonna
read the
s-
definition of blasphemy. If
I'm-
you say that a Muslim smells
Oh.
like a goat, that's blasphemy.
That is
That's true. Blasphemer.
So the president of the United States would like to put me in jail for that.
for that one.
Well,
He's
Yeah.
got your phone
I will call
records.
Bill Killian on you.
I'm gonna reveal a little inside
if
secret.
it quacks like a
Uh-oh.
duck,
Are
and
you
it
ready?
walks like a duck.
This is all of you, folks at CARE in Washington D.C. Our buddy Ibrahim Hoopi.
Oh, we called him.
Hey,
like
listen, we have to cut that piece where we called him
Oh,
last
that's
Friday.
Right. I forgot.
Yeah.
I
We
forgot.
got to send that out. I mean, that's classic. He called us names. You know,
Yeah.
he called us.
He
names.
said we weren't a legitimate news
Yeah, right.
And he hung
organization,
up on-
unlike
And he hung up on-
I don't think I've ever-
MSNBC, which of course has lots of credibility.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever
Yeah.
hung up on anybody.
Yeah.
But I'm
And
going to
it was
give.
really,
I'm
that's
gonna,
a total left talking point because when we were at the presidential debates earlier in 2012, what was it, October, November?
October.
It was in October,
Yeah,
right?
right at the
Right.
end.
I heard the same thing from Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Very
I'm not going to
sexual.
answer your questions.
Is
You're
that-
not a legitimate
Yeah,
news
yeah.
organization.
Yeah, that's a good way of avoiding
Yeah.
it. But I'm going to give you a little insight into the behind the scenes. One of the behind the scenes operational tactics of our work. You see, we are an educational organization. We entertain a little bit, but we're propagandists. We get inside your head doing psychological warfare. And some of what we do to our Muslim friends is we practice the black art of reductio ad absurdum. And if you don't know what that is, you need to go look it up. And some of our comedy, some of our bits, some of our stuff is a very serious psychological warfare type of doctrine in the context of reductio ad absurdum. And it has an end. And the end is to cause you to think. Okay, that's all I can reveal right now. Otherwise, electric shocks go through my feet and come out my fingertips. But that is actually something we do on this show. So
My
there's
brain
a lot
hurts.
of moving parts. A lot of
It's
moving
kind of like
parts.
you have tequila, we have
We
have our
we have
methods.
humor.
Yeah, we got a lot of moving parts.
Humor's illegal in Israel.
We don't have
But what
humor.
else we have is a trip to Israel. I don't know if the jihadis have any. I guess they do have trips to Israel, don't they?
Yes.
One-way trips to Israel.
We have a trip to Israel coming up last day of September. So today's the 12th of June, July, August, September, 90, about 100 days or so. From today, we will be taking off from any point in the country.
From the airport of your choice.
Yeah,
Leaving on a jet
and we'll
plane.
meet you at Ben Gurion. What city is Ben Gurion in, class?
Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv. We're going to Tel Aviv. And then the fun. Actually, the fun starts on the flight over. Mark, did you enjoy the flight over last time? It's about an 8-hour flight going to the east.
Yes, I did. I did enjoy the flight over. That is where the party starts.
Party starts, and we all flew coach.
Right.
But these
It's
trans
shorter than his dinners are.
these transatlantic flights are they're not like cattle car things anymore.
Yeah, we go on in 777s and stuff like that.
Get on a 777. You have a lot of room. You have your own entertainment.
If
777
we're there,
today.
you don't need your own entertainment.
A 777 today, and the prices are all about the same. A 777 today is what first class was 10, 15 years ago. And on the flight back, which was a little longer, we watched 5 or 6 movies. You know, they feed you 2 or 3 times. You get up, you walk around, you meet other people. It is literally a blast, a lot of fun. And all those books you've been wanting to read, all that stuff you've been wanting to take care of, all those puzzles,
You won't get them done.
You take your little. Yeah, I know you won't get them
You
done.
won't
on
get
the
them
flight
done.
because you'll be.
You'll
talking
be
to
having too
people.
much fun.
You know what I like about going on the air flights? There's no email. There's no messaging. It's all just.
Oh yes, there is. If you want to
I
hook into the
know, I know, but
Wi-Fi.
I don't want to pay for it. I'm too cheap.
And what's cool is you take your shoes off and you walk around in your bare
Okay,
feet
so
or your
don't
stocking
sit next
feet.
to him.
But about
Okay.
3 hours into the flight, the toilet gets a little little ripe.
Oh,
We had to bring it there, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
So you better put your
Yeah.
shoes on.
That's why
when
we
you
need
go in.
donations.
That's
don't
why we
bring
need
back-
more girls
It
working
gets
at
cooked.
TrentoVision.
Yes, yes. But no, we are promoting our trip, and if you go to, we need to put up in the lower thirds
Yeah.
heritage study programs.
Yeah.
If somebody can give Dave the website,
Yes.
Put a link on it on the IBGA.
we want you to go there because you can click right on.
gfm.heritagestudyprograms.com.
Is that it?
Yep.
GFM? Okay. If you go there, all the information, the pricing, the itinerary, and we're gonna go through that. But again, we want you to follow up with that. And we've said this several times this week. We don't want you to block the possibility of you going by either having medical concerns, having fear, or having a lack of money. Because each of those three obstacles to the best trip you will ever take in your life, trust me, can be overcome. On the medical concerns, what can they do?
On the medical concerns, Israel is first world pioneer in medicine. You can't, you can hardly get better medical care
You
anywhere in
can't
the
get
world.
better medical treatment.
So if I have a heart
fact,
if I have a
there's
heart
whole
condition
Israeli
or liver or something,
industry built around medical tourism.
Tom, I
of
don't think
people
you'll have to worry
traveling
about
from
that.
all
I think
over
you
the
might have to
world.
worry more about.
So if you're
Jihadisms.
worried about not having good access to medical care, that is definitely something that you don't have to worry about. And all the healthcare workers will be able to speak with you in English
yes.
if that's your primary language. So please do not be concerned about this.
Yeah, the health issue ought to be removed as an obstacle.
Yeah.
Who should be going on this trip?
The fear of something happening. We mentioned it on Tuesday's show yesterday. Today, Wednesday, the 12th. Israel's an extreme, even though it's on a constant, and we're not going to misrepresent the situation. It's in a very dangerous neighborhood. It's neighbors to the north, Lebanon and Syria, to the east, Jordan, to the west, water, to the south, Egypt, Saudi Arabia. These are some very, very dangerous neighbors. But Israel proper itself is a safe place. You can walk freely anywhere in Israel. In some of the Arab-controlled areas, no, that's not true, and you won't walk alone in those places.
I mean, you wouldn't go to Dearborn by yourself,
not
so
at all.
why would you in Israel?
But if any of the tours that you've been on, or if this tour goes into an Arab area, it's through a tour. It's all of that. There's no problems with any of those things. But
and plus, you're in a controlled environment. I mean, on a tour program, what you're not just stumbling around blindly in the tourist areas. You're actually going with professionals,
exactly,
and on motor coaches, on things. You're going to be in nice hotels, and it's going to be a wonderful trip.
Security and armed people
and
protecting
you know what?
you.
When you step out into something that has a little bit of an edge to it, a little bit of a risk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you go through the day, and you go, it's not as bad as I thought it would be, and then when you get through this whole trip and you get home, you go, I pushed the envelope in my life. I pushed the envelope a little bit, and man, that was cool. I went to Israel. I walked in the area. When they talk about the Golan, or they talk about Jerusalem, or Eilat, or Gaza,
Armageddon,
or Armageddon, I've been there. I've done it. I
Follow
did
Jesus' steps.
On the religious side, if you're a person interested in biblical archaeology or biblical history, whether the Hebrew Bible or the Christian New Testament, this trip will have quite a bit of opportunity to move in those directions. Look at the archaeology, look at the history.
Yeah.
There's Bill Murray is a pastor,
Right.
a minister. He'll be there, and for those who want to partake in some of those,
I thought he was a
opportunities.
groundskeeper.
But yeah, he is.
County check, yeah.
So if you're all about the allure of crumbling infrastructure, you just can't get any better than Israel.
It's like walking through a history book.
And here's the other thing.
Where the history books came from, the history of the Western world.
And here's the other thing. It is like, you go on one of those cruises, like the Royal Caribbean cruises. It's like one of these, but it's on the ground. You get fed all the food you want. Everything's paid for. You got your hotel paid for. Everything's all taken care of.
It's not a flea bag hotel.
It's not a flea bag hotel. You don't even have to think. You just jump on and you go. In fact, you're not even required to think. You're just there to enjoy. It's not a. It's
we
you're
like
gonna
people
get,
to think about what they're learning.
But what I'm saying is, you don't have to think about the scheduling. You don't have to think about
the
food. You don't have to think about the currency exchange. You don't have to think about anything.
Right.
That's the great thing about going on a tour.
Right.
My wife led tours for many, many, many years, and it is, just going on a tour in and of itself is a fabulous experience to a lot of people. But to go on a tour to Israel is a a phenomenal experience, something that you will tell over and over and over again to people for years.
Absolutely.
I think it's a great opportunity for people here in the United States who are maybe just first taking a look at outside domestic politics and domestic issues, and looking at national security issues, international affairs. Really, if you look at what's happening with the Obama administration, what's going on in this country, Israel is at the center of everything related to our national security. That's and now, not just our national security, our domestic policy, when this same government that is betraying its allies all over the world, and particularly the state of Israel, is now been proven through the IRS scandal and now through the NSA scandal, it's spying on its own citizens.
You know what amazes me is that you have most of your outspoken people talk about the hatred and the nervousness and disgust that goes on over there.
Right.
And they've never been there.
Right.
Oh, that's a good
Let's
point.
take you to Israel and show you how it isn't an apartheid
I can't talk about it
state.
intelligently
So,
because I've never been there.
If you're a Tea Party community person and you're just starting to get acquainted with this, come to Israel with us and learn all about it. If you are a follower of Pamela Geller and you read Atlas Shrugs every day, and maybe you didn't get to go on a trip with her, come with Tom.
Oh no, that seriously, if
Frank
you
Gaffney and
if
Oh
you're,
yeah, him too.
But
you know.
in terms of our
Let's
weekend,
not forget Imam Abdullah.
in terms of our weekend with our Hating Breitbart people,
Yeah.
if you are someone who's followed Andrew Breitbart or follow the Breitbart websites, you need to be on this trip because you are an informed individual, and this will take that information and put it on friggin' steroids.
That's right.
If you follow Pamela Geller, then how have you not been to Israel? Answer that. Perfect trip to go on. If you're involved with the Tea Party community, all of you folks there, watching this show right now, we know it's on the homepage of Tea Party community. What we want you to do after you guys watch it, or right now, send a note to your friends. Say, get over to teapartycommunity.com. Watch this show right now. It's on live at 25 minutes after 5 o'clock, Wednesday the 12th.
25 minutes after 5.
It's 5:26 on WNN 1470 AM.
26
There
after
you go.
that
That was
time.
very
That
good.
Cool Jazz.
Now we have
104.
Now everybody's an announcer. Take the link, send the link to this show, and just click through to YouTube, and you'll come to the YouTube link. Send it and tell your friends, look, we got to go as a Tea Party. Get 5 or 6 of them together.
And the bonding experience, exactly.
It's phenomenal. Now, Damon, you were holding up some papers there. Passport. What do you mean?
Yeah, make sure
you
your
gotta get-
passport's in order just in case you do decide
what
to
did you
go,
mean?
that you
What does
want to
he mean?
make sure that you have it available.
Okay.
Have them ready to go. Start getting them in order. Make
Yeah.
yourself. You were mentioning about that you make copies of your passport when you travel.
Right.
Yeah, you can get a passport in one day if you're
Right.
crazy.
Well, you got to go to Miami.
Yeah.
I know. I've done it.
You have to go to one of the passport areas,
Miami.
go and pay a lot of money. Well, that's for South Florida.
It's
If
about
you're in San-
$250.
If you're in San Francisco, I don't recommend you go to Miami. For your passport, you have to go down to the federal building there.
Exactly.
But you can do it in a day, or you can do it through the mail.
You
It takes
can
about
plan
5 or
ahead.
6 weeks.
It's $80.
Yeah. So get your passport if you don't have one. It's very, very simple. They know everything about you already, so it's no big
That's
deal
right,
if you got a
Yeah,
passport.
you shouldn't be hard to look up.
Now we will when
We're
when
going to talk about that, right?
yes when
Okay.
we have our team together. We're taking about 50 people on this, and it's closing up quickly, so you got to move quickly. Then we'll give you all the details as to what to do with the passport, make copies of it, and all this sort of stuff. The weather in October in Israel is just beautiful.
Stunning,
It's
right?
perfect.
And they got beaches, beautiful beaches there. and
We were
it's-
there in February, and people were in the water
I know.
swimming. And then you go down to the Dead Sea. You're up here in Jerusalem, and you go 1,500 feet down
Right.
to the Dead Sea. And the Dead Sea, or the Salt Sea, as it's also referred to, nothing lives in it.
That's right.
Because the saline content is so heavy that even Mark can float.
Well,
And
actually-
I saw it with these
actually-
two eyes, and I still can't sleep at night.
It's not
Seeing
hard
him
to
floating in the Dead Sea.
Gorge
not-
my corneas
challenge
with
is
the
not-
imagery.
The challenge is not floating in the Dead Sea, is actually standing up in the Dead Sea. You're like a weeble that just falls right back over. You can't.
Tom ran a
it's hard
40-yard dash on it.
Keyword being dead.
So the weather's going to be beautiful.
Can I-
and
can I
it's
just
about,
read-
It's about $2,900. Everybody wants to know the cost. It's $2,900 for the trip. Then you have to catch an airplane over there, and the way to do that is to talk to your neighbors and your friends and see if people can give you points. There's a million ways
Right.
to not have to pay the fare. The fare is anywhere probably from $1,000
Now
to
this,
$1,200 or $1,400.
this is all inclusive. This is not, other than the airfare, it's all inclusive with meals, hotel stays, the whole 9 yards. So you don't have to do anything. Once you pay that amount, it's like,
It's done deal.
if you want to bring a few extra dollars for spending, you
I was
can.
going to say, yeah.
An extra shawarma sandwich,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sure, of course.
Bring extra shekels.
An extra bottle of wine for
Extra
Tom's
bottle.
table.
But
Can I just read you the weather off of
Yes.
traveltips.com? September, October, November. General weather description. Some will argue and say that this is the nicest season of the year in Israel. Temperatures in Tel Aviv is usually between 61 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Jerusalem and Golan Heights are approximately 3 degrees cooler, and in Eliat's usually around 3 degrees warmer. So
Absolutely.
absolute, and Ronnie Wexler was telling us we could not pick a better
Right.
time of the year
Your hair
to
will
go.
look great the entire time.
And Ronnie's our tour guide.
Yes.
32 years of doing this. He's taken over 100,000 people to Israel. He's based in Boca Raton, Florida, and Jerusalem. He's got dual citizenship, has 2 offices. And we're going to have him on, I think, tomorrow or Friday, right?
Or-
I
Yeah.
think tomorrow.
Are we? That's
he's
great.
going to be on. He's going to Skype in from
Another thing
from Israel. He's in Israel right now preparing.
I think that one of the biggest things I got going on this trip last time, and I'm, want to learn more on it. But the other information that you just get that you're unaware of, like for example, the wall. I never knew what the wall they were talking about, what it meant.
The security wall.
security
The
fence.
apartheid wall.
Yeah.
I heard apartheid wall,
Yeah.
apartheid wall, apartheid
Yeah.
wall.
I
I'm
thought he
going,
meant the Wailing Wall.
well, and that too,
That's too, yeah.
And I'm looking. That's what it is. It's to stop sniper bullets from coming into the highway.
Yeah.
That's why they built it. And you get
When
the
they build it
truth.
sooner is
Right. Why did they wait so long?
Apartheid.
No, but that's the whole.
Well, the
point.
whole apartheid thing is
It
just.
it
It's
blows
just a
down
bunch of
all this news media liberal biased
Yeah.
nonsense, and you see it for what it is, truthfully what it is. And so when you go out and talk to somebody, and they say, "Well, have you been to Israel?" I go, "Yeah, I've been to Israel and I've seen it. I know exactly what it is. Have you been there?"
I got
Yeah.
a question. You just spurred something. If the Jews control the media,
Right.
why is the media so negative about the Jews? How's that work?
Well, first of all, they
well,
don't.
Well, they're socialists
And
first
second
of all.
of all, most of them are leftist, socialist, communist,
Well,
traitors.
my question would be is that for someone that's hasn't gone to Israel, has never been there, for obviously the team that's here as a Catholic, what's the most important things to see over there? That
As a Catholic.
As a Catholic.
Christian Catholic.
Christian Catholic, yeah.
Well, I mean, as a Catholic, the center of your faith is Jesus Christ, and he was born in Bethlehem. I don't think we're going to Bethlehem on this trip. There may be day trips to Bethlehem. We're going to Nazareth, where he was from. His family lived in Nazareth.
Jesus of Nazareth.
We're going there, but a census was being taken, so he had to go down to Jerusalem to sign up for the census, his family, and he was born on the way in Bethlehem. So those places. And then the other critical historic elements for Christians are, and these are all on this trip, the Sea of Galilee, where a lot of his ministry was around there, and then Jerusalem, where he met his death on a cross, crucified by the Romans.
And I think it's fascinating, and it's unfortunate that most people and myself included haven't been able to take that trip over there, even if you're not religious, just to go see the history and the importance of the land.
I can testify to that.
And to get your diversity and see what the world is really like through your eyes versus obviously the media.
A filtered screen.
Right.
Yeah.
If I could just, can I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
read
yeah.
a couple
Tie
of
that in,
snippets
yeah.
from the
Yeah.
itinerary, because every day we're going sightseeing, we're going all over the country, but every evening there's an evening program with these experts from Israel, and there are panels and discussions. So, for instance, during the day when we're visiting the Sea of Galilee, the evening panel that night is Israelis and Arabs in the Galilee.
And we got pictures.
Look at that,
There
Sea
we
of
go.
Galilee.
Right,
Our
right.
high-
I mean, that's just
There's
beautiful.
Jesus! There's Jesus!
And
He's not there.
then, and then the next night, there's lines on the sand, divisions of the Middle East, dinner and overnight in Tiberias. So, I mean, every single night, Jerusalem and Islam.
This is a problem. This is a problem.
So you have your full day of touring, your full day of education, your full day of knowledge and enjoyment, and then you have a really good dinner, and you meet former ambassadors and Israeli officials and the top writers on the
Yeah, you're
Middle
not just going with
East.
a bunch of slubs. Yeah, you're going with.
Well, here's the problem.
I mean, these are
Problem is
top class people,
these
and
itineraries
then you're having drinks and
at night hanging out.
panels with these people.
These itineraries are so full that you're up early in the morning and you go to pretty late at night.
It's like an 18-hour day every
You
single
gotta
day.
you gotta get in shape a little
yeah.
bit. Now you will rock and roll on adrenaline.
Yeah.
And there will be about the third day. There's they build in. All right, you got the afternoon
Yeah,
off.
you get some nap
Yeah.
Yeah,
time.
just take a nap for a couple hours.
You're ready for it,
If you
though.
still have energy, go shopping.
If you want to go shopping, you can do that. So
Yeah.
all of that stuff is built
Here's
in.
the one thing Jessica brought up, my wife, and she
Mark,
said,
we like it better when we can see you.
"Yeah, well, I'd like it better when they can't."
Okay.
This is the Last Supper,
Okay, he's
Tom
getting
was showing.
shy.
Oh, is that the upper room?
Yeah.
Well, it's right now for those of you driving your automobiles at 35 minutes. Am I right, timekeepers?
The time is 5:35.
35 minutes
In
after 5
35
o'clock.
seconds.
On
35 after Cool Jazz.
I'm
104.
sorry, but I think out of all of them, I think Dave wins.
Well, we'll see. The
Dave's the
contest
time
isn't
guy.
over.
Yeah.
Nice time,
But
guys.
5:36 now, because we just blew a minute of our valuable time. On a Wednesday afternoon, for those of
Have
you
you
driving
blown
in your
your mind?
cars or listening on iHeartRadio, we're showing some B-roll, some photos and videos of the trip. We just show the upper room where the Last Supper was, the Passover supper for Jesus.
Well-
but Mark is going to tell us something that his wife, Jessica, told him as a tour guide.
This is what I didn't understand. She goes, yes, as a tour guide, she used to said that other people who are tour guides over there, that they said they used to have people that have religious experiences when they go over there, and they actually have a facility set up for people who have such an overwhelming experience to the tours in Israel. And, this is one of those type of tours where it's going to be an overwhelming experience for some. I mean, it's going to be one of those, oh my God experiences. And,
I could see that.
and God has to be talking to you when you do these type of things, and and you feel and you say, and there's always a reason behind all these connections that we're all making, and it is spiritual in a way. And this is coming from a Unitarian, not
Mark
from a
is
Yeah, I was
preaching
gonna
it.
say,
Preach
yeah.
it, brother. Preach it.
I mean, as somebody that hasn't gone, that's
If you
exciting
haven't
to
been,
hear, Mark.
if you
because
haven't been baptized and you're thinking about it, maybe this
Jordan
is the
River,
special
man.
trip
Yeah.
for
Jordan
you.
River.
a place. Yeah.
No, that's a very, very good point for.
Can I ask
for
you, if you've been
Christians.
baptized, can you be rebaptized, kind of like a
Yeah, yeah.
reaffirmation of your faith?
Yes.
Yeah, we can baptize you, CJ. We can do that.
No.
Yes, the answer is yes. You can go through the symbolic baptism of going down under the water, and the water washes your sins, and you come out free from your sins. Yes, you can do that. What do you have for me there, Tiberias? Oh, there is the Sea of Tiberias, the town of Tiberias there too. And
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is really,
The
really.
middle name of James T. Kirk.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yes.
James Tiberius Kirk.
But how are we tying all of this beautiful trip to the geopolitical national security affairs that we here, TrentoVision and the United West, work on, and Frank Gaffney? You're going there with people who have the religious component, but you're also going with national security experts that are providing a briefing and insight into Israel in the line of fire. And
We really made jihad fun on this one.
yeah, and two areas.
Jihad is always fun.
Two areas we've been talking about the past couple of days are Syria, and I want to get to Syria today. If we can't, we'll do it tomorrow and Thursday. But one of the hot news items right now for the past couple of days, and we really haven't addressed it here on the show, has been
There's been so much.
yesterday Clapper was under all kinds of
Talk
He's-
about
he's
Israel.
such a
How
stellar
about Clapper
individual.
under fire?
James Clapper.
The same James Clapper who said
Yeah.
that the Muslim
The
Brotherhood
Muslim
is
Brotherhood is peaceful now.
and secular.
Yeah,
he's the
just
director
a,
of
just
national
a political
intelligence.
organization.
He's the director of national intelligence. He's the big guy. He oversees all of these.
Has no tendencies to international violence. That's James Clapper.
The point we're making about Mr. Clapper is he has not quite represented the truth on Islamic jihad, and many of us know the reason for that is that he doesn't understand the Islamic threat doctrine. But this particular battle, past couple of days regarding him, has been a little fib that he said. Now I'm going to ask you guys a question. Then we're going to get into little Eddie Snowjob, the former
We're going to have an argument on this.
Army,
Yeah.
We're gonna have an
CIA,
argument on this
NSA guy who spilling the beans on U.S. secrets. First, Clapper. A couple of months back, Clapper, and how this relates together is very, very simple to our trip. The United States and Israel are national security partners. We need an administration that respects the national security interests of our number one national security partner in the Middle East.
In the world.
Just take for instance the hypothesis, removing Israel. Take Israel and all its democracy and all that it is, and take it out of there. And this huge vacuum is filled with every fighting Muslim tribe in the world
Yeah.
to be in the holy city. They'll be slicing each other's throats
Slicing and
from now to
dicing.
the end of the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
And oil They're going to go right after Saudi Arabia, and oil prices are going to go insane because Iran's going to. Israel.
It won't even matter. They're going to blow themselves up. They're going to blow us up.
But Mark Langfan does great work on this. We got to get him on in the next couple of days. Israel is the bulwark, is the retaining wall holding insanity back from occurring worldwide. 7 million people. The burden falls on. This country has a moral, historic, and a reasonable obligation to support the national security interests of Israel. When it gives Israel secrets away, there's going to be a base in Azerbaijan.
We're taking bids. We're taking bids on a secret base in Israel.
By the way, you can't use our flyover space to take out Iran's
we're
nuclear
taking bids.
reactor.
That one was ridiculous.
Yeah, we're giving out open bids to a secret military base in Israel.
Intelligence base that was being built. That was last week. So how we're tying our trip together is you're going to see the country. And why? And in a sense, we know there's Americans that don't like Jewish people. We know there's anti-Semitism out there. But if you're an American, you like yourself, then Jewish people have put themselves on the line for you.
Canary in the coal mine.
And for selfish reasons, you ought to say, whoa, these guys want to do that? I need to support them. You know?
Because if you think about it, these Jews in the Middle East, it's the only thing that all the people who want to kill everybody
agrees on.
Yeah. The hatred for Jews is so great that it stops them from completing their mission of subduing and killing the rest of us. If they weren't preoccupied with trying to kill the Jewish people and wipe out the state of Israel, then they would have their act together and they'd be coming after us.
How's that motivation for you? You know,
how's it going? How's it working for them? By the way, because all those other countries over there, their economies, what do they make? Sand. Versus the most booming high-tech economy.
You know how much each Syrian makes per year? The average Syrian?
$200.
No, actually,
they're more
$5,000.
Yeah,
they make $5,000 per year.
Okay, but what's the cost of living?
Well, we're going to find that out. But here's what we're talking about: our national security leaks right now. Clapper the other day, James Clapper, the director of national intelligence, was asked, "Is the NSA collecting data on all citizens in the United States?" And if you're ever going to lie in front of a camera, now what he should have said was, that's proprietary information, whether we do or we don't, whether they do or don't, and it'd be improper for me to answer in a forum like this. It'd be improper for me to answer in a forum like this. I'll do that behind closed doors, and you may infer from that that's what they're doing. But he said, he went like this. He looked like Richard Nixon at his worst moment. He went, no.
And it's really hard to look worse than Richard Nixon did on TV.
The follow-up question by the congressman. The follow-up question by the congressman was, "Are you sure the NSA is not gathering information on American citizens?" And he goes, "Not wittingly so." Right? Not wittingly so. And everybody goes,
"We're incompetent."
Huh?
Well, now that it's out that he absolutely lied to Congress, I don't know if he was under oath on that. We have to check.
You're always, and hold on, I want to get. You're always under oath when you go in front of Congress.
Unless you're Hillary Clinton and you're testifying on Benghazi.
If you've taken an oath of office, you've taken an oath of office to tell the truth in front of Congress when you go. That is such.
Yeah, but what does it matter anymore? It doesn't matter because you can just boldly lie.
If you know they're lying anyway, what does it matter?
Nobody gets in trouble, but yet me and you lie as American citizens, which they are too. We go to jail. So when are we going to start holding people up to that?
I got a phone call just a few minutes ago, just before we went on the air, from a friend, a very intelligent guy. He said, "Is it illegal to lie to Congress and to be held in contempt of Congress? Can you go to jail?"
Obviously not.
I said, "Yeah, of course." He said, "Well, how come Eric Holder's not in jail?"
How about the whole administration isn't in jail?
Yeah.
I know. To find this,
I mean, my grandfather must be rolling in his grave right now by the way we're acting.
To find all this information out.
It's nice to have a young whippersnapper in the bunker.
Follow us at Twitter, at The United West. Go to Twitter, follow us at The United West. And make sure you subscribe to our emails at theunitedwest.org and on youtube.com/The United West. But the other day, little Eddie Snowjob came out. Do you have a picture of little Eddie Snowjob?
Oh, did you see that the ACLU filed?
That would be you looking
it
for
was
the picture.
they programmed when the NSA is unconstitutional yesterday.
See what happens when you run the
Yeah.
machine, and the host says, "Could you put a picture of little Eddie Snowjob up?"
Yeah.
It's called multitasking.
right.
There he is.
There he
And
is.
Which
what
none of
time
us do
is it?
very well.
There's little Eddie. There's
What
little Eddie
time is
Snowjob. 29 years old.
So what do you call him, Snow Job, Tom?
It looks like Cass for the Ghost.
I hope all Americans saw his 12-minute. It was a 2-hour interview, but they've released 12 minutes of it so far.
Right.
At a hotel room, supposedly in Hong Kong, where he met a reporter from the British paper The Guardian.
Ugh.
A left-wing kind of.
Left
Kind
wing.
of?
Kind of.
Kind of like in the category of Pravda, really.
So I watched, and the quick story is he got disillusioned with the United States government's collection of metadata on citizens and felt that this is a decision not for elected officials or appointed officials, but for the public.
and for himself, actually, a decision that he should make for
So he
300 million Americans.
Let me sketch it
ahead.
out
Go
for the audience so they know the context in which we're going to
Focusing on the
argue.
wrong subject, but go ahead.
And so he unilaterally, as an employee of an organization that was contracted to the National Security Administration, NSA, he unilaterally
Security Agency.
downloaded information, proprietary top secret information from the network, and then took that information, left his base where he was operating out of Hawaii, went to supposedly Hong Kong, and then had this interview with a newspaper, and then leaked the information as a whistleblower. And the information is that the national security apparatus, which includes the NSA, National Security Agency, the CSA, CSS, Center Security Systems, I think it is, which is the cryptology division of analysis for the military, that yes, indeed, material on all Americans is being gathered by this administration. That's what he leaked.
So that's the truth. It is 100% that what he's saying is true.
Well, I don't know if the administration has admitted.
Has admitted
Yes.
that they're collecting all the metadata from the phone.
Yes.
Yes.
So who
Yes.
cares what Eddie Snowjob's political whatever thing is? The important part of this, don't kill. I could care less what about this messenger, who he is, what he is, where he went for, or whatever. I'm talking. The more important issue is that they are collecting information on each and every one of us in the United States.
Okay,
Who
well,
cares about Eddie?
There's two things here.
This is a typical
Okay.
thing what the media.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm not done. This
Okay.
is typical what the media does when they see something they don't like or they don't agree with something. They go after the messenger, just like they went after Andrew Breitbart, just like they went after everybody else. They try to discredit the messenger beyond the message. The message is true. They're collecting data on each and every one of us in the United States, and that's horrific.
Woo! Yeah, but the problem I have here is
Campbell,
two things because
Mark Campbell, yes, that's him. Okay.
the two things that come into this is one, he signed the government
I
hides
could
behind.
care less.
Yeah, hold on. I let you rant. Let me rant for a second.
Okay.
The one
These
thing
are the
I
people
said,
behind the scenes.
the one thing, yeah,
We haven't even got started.
the one thing that I say is that American government hides behind top secret, and some things that's great for. So when a guy like this comes out and says something, I believe what he has to say is valid for the American public. But then I also have a problem because he did sign and say, "Hey, I will keep top secret information." So he technically broke the law, but yet he was doing it for a good reason. So I go back and forth because I believe follow the law.
I could care less whether you want to put him
We
in
don't
jail.
know.
Hold on. I could care less whether you want to put him in jail for treason, high crimes, misdemeanors, whatever you want to put him for. I'm talking about the more important issue here, which we're getting all distracted upon, is that the government is collecting our cell phone and data information on each and every one
Who
of us.
cares? Collect it on me. You can
Well,
say I
that's-
call my mom
well, then-
and my dad. Like,
Well, then you're bad as an idiot ass as a post if you believe that. That's what I'm going to tell you, because that is just
What are they
completely
going to gather
insane.
on me? What
That's
are they going to
completely
gather
insane.
on me?
Okay,
Oh, why
come
is that
on.
insane? Why is that
Excuse
insane?
me. Can we calm down here, please?
There are
Let's just calm
children.
down
There are
here,
you're scaring the
please.
children.
We have
Yeah.
young kids watching the show. So
Yeah.
at what is the time, by
Yeah.
the way?
And first of all, to answer
Oh wait,
Dave,
let's get the time.
The time is
Well, that's-
5:50 on WNN
Okay.
1470
Well-
AM.
Well, hang on. It's 5:50 in the
Over.
afternoon. And many of you are just getting into your automobiles going, what the hell is this all about? We're just having one of our regular conversations here at TrentoVision.tv. That's on the TV side on WNN 1470. The issue is little Eddie Snowjob, Edward Snowden, who was the analyst for the NSA that released the information. And Mark feels that he is a hero. And
I didn't say he was a hero. I never said that. I could care less what he is.
Mark
I'm
feels
talking about
that-
the information of what he has given
So
to
he's
us.
like,
is
he's
wrong.
like, is this correct? He's like the guy who has a starving family, and he goes in and robs the bakery and brings the food to feed the starving kids.
Rob
No.
Peter to pay Paul.
No, the guy who goes in and robs a bakery, and all of a sudden there's a big drug ring, and the cops come in and bust him. I could care less whether he's robbing a bakery. The big drug ring is broken up in the back. That's what I care about.
Okay. So the exposure of the administration's collecting data.
Exposure? It's criminal. We have the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution.
Yeah, but-
illegal search and seizures. Didn't we fight a war over
But you
that?
got to hold both sides accountable. What he did was criminal too.
Okay. Now hang on. We're gonna walk through this.
The bigger one versus the
We're gonna walk through this because you brought up the Fourth Amendment.
right.
Can we have the text for the Fourth Amendment brought up, please?
Illegal searches and seizures. Well, what's next? We put troops in our house.
We're gonna.
What? I mean, didn't we fight a war?
I am here. I can walk us through this and get us.
You can
to
tell
the,
I'm a little bit upset about this whole issue.
and get us to
Sorry.
the other side very, very well. And I think you'll it'll be interesting if you stay with me, Mark
Okay.
Campbell, and
All right.
everybody else.
All right.
I think you'll be very interested as to where this leads. But let's get the text of the Fourth Amendment, because that's the big issue on searches and seizures. And do we have, by any chance, the illustration of Manhattan, that little Manhattan document? Well, do the text first.
Okay.
We'll put that up.
Like the nuclear, the Manhattan Project?
No. I sent you a. Well, you guys work on that while they're putting the text of the Fourth Amendment, because that's what this argument is all about. It comes down to whether or not the United States government violated the Fourth Amendment. And I'll jump to the answer, which will be very surprising. The answer is no. They did not
They did
violate
not.
the Fourth
They
Amendment.
did not.
There is
So
no.
in spite, I would like to
spite of
say,
Mark's
in spite
passion-
of all, there is a lot of reacting, and there's also a lot of overreacting. On the one hand, we've been doing similar things since the Patriot Act.
Yes.
Okay, so
No,
this
hold on.
is-
Let's go back to
no,
Patriot Act.
Let her talk. We'll go.
Well, hold on.
We have a lot of time to
Quiet
do
there.
this. We-
Okay.
Well, no, quiet there, because the
Quiet
Patriot
over
Act
there.
was not meant to
Yeah.
do this.
Okay.
I said
Yeah, put it up.
similar.
Put the Fourth Amendment. Put
I
the-
did not say this.
Want me to read it?
Okay.
All right, let Dave read that first, so we have the context for what
The
we're talking
Fourth Amendment states the right of the people to be secure in their person's house, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall be issued but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized.
Okay.
Where's the probable cause?
Hang
and
on.
It isn't reasonable.
Let her finish, then you can go. And we're going to run out of time, but that's okay.
As
we have
usual.
We have all day tomorrow to deal
Okay,
with
well
this.
then I want to continue
Yeah.
it. I want to continue it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, I can make my point really quick.
Again, you make your point really quick.
Really quick. This is an unreasonable search. Unreasonable search into our privacy. There's no probable cause. The Patriot Act was meant to have the FISA courts overrule whether it's probable
I did
cause.
not say this was the Patriot Act.
No, I said I was talking
We'll
about
leave
that.
this on a cliffhanger.
The Patriot Act stated for probable cause by a secret court. They reduced it down to a reasonable crime. That was the big deal with the Patriot Act. They had no idea to go out there and completely blanket cover every American in the world.
No, but they could. But they could find out everybody who checked out certain library books. That was certainly a big issue. What you accessed from the public library, that was the big one of the huge objections to the Patriot Act.
Hang on. We're going to have to continue.
I've never liked the Patriot Act.
We're going to have to continue this tomorrow.
Give me 2 minutes.
We don't have 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes.
No. Tomorrow.
Oh yeah. No, this is very important. I think we need to hit this. And for all of you coming on our trip to Israel, which is why we're doing this special 5-part series, this is the kind of stuff we do late at night discussing these issues, and this is how you learn stuff.
This is what we do on the bus.
Not yet. Don't put it up yet. Over the past couple of days, I have found a program, and I have gathered for my personal use a ton of information about every citizen in New York City.
Oh.
And I'd like to show it to you right here. I have gathered the New York phone book.
But they
I have every person's address. Every person's phone number.
That's not the only thing they've done.
I know where they live. I know what their phone number is.
That's not the only issue. They've collected the data. They've collected the conversations, the phone calls.
I'll tell you what the answer is. And let me tell you where I got the little trick. Andy McCarthy used to do that to all his interns, teaching them about the Fourth Amendment, saying, I need all the information upon all the New York citizens. I want their names. They're going, what? The Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment. He takes out the Manhattan phone book. He goes, here's the Manhattan phone book. We already got that information. He goes, let me tell you how the Fourth Amendment works.
Yeah.
Okay. And McCarthy went on, what I'm telling you right now, Andy McCarthy went on to say that the metadata being collected by the NSA is absolutely legal and necessary. He said it's called envelope information.
That's right.
Envelope information means it's the information on the outside of the envelope. Your name, your return address, all of that.
Yeah.
The U.S. government's not allowed to go inside the envelope.
That's what I'm saying they're doing.
That's not what they're doing.
That's not what they're doing.
Well, hang on. Let's be clear.
When they're mass collecting data comes out, I know. All right, go ahead.
Let's be clear. The testimony so far that the metadata. Now, I got a lot of problems with this, and we'll lay it out tomorrow, but we have to step through this factually. The envelope information, which is a program that goes and gets all the data about your phone calls, my phone calls, not listening in, but when we called who, where, what, why, not why, all of that, that's legal and necessary, so says Andy McCarthy and many other constitutional scholars.
And you know what? After 9/11 and all that, for security purposes, I'm sorry. I want to be safe.
Let me jump ahead, and then we'll discuss this tomorrow. Okay. Where this falls apart is trusting those in charge not to go inside the envelope.
There you go. Thank you very much.
And these folks are going inside the envelope. And when they go inside the envelope,
then they need to
and that's when I agree. That's when they should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
Now, this kid, what are we going to do with this kid? This is rhetorical. I'm leading up to a climactic close to keep the people on the edge of their seats so they tune in tomorrow.
Tune in tomorrow.
Okay? So
it's like a soap opera.
What are we going to do? Why don't I say it and then you repeat it? What are we going to do about this kid tomorrow?
What are we going to do about this kid tomorrow?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Let's find out.
I can't wait.
Let's find out.
Tune in
tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
To TrentoVision.
See you then. We'll solve all these problems.
Thank you.
Now let's kill Mark. Okay. Bye.
No, let's
open a bottle of wine and continue fighting. Let's read his mail.
Love you too. Love you too.
Bye.